Hi,
Hi,
Alistair.
hi, Philippa.
We have decided to do another little video today uh, about some of the things that can happen in a conversation that can be disconnecting or can disconnect us. So today our topic is defensiveness. Do you want to say something about
We
that?
were wanting to talk about this because defensiveness is such an easy response. I know when I have that sense that someone's wanting something from me that I'm not capable of delivering, there can be a defensiveness that comes up in me, which is, for me to go into an explanation or a listing of all the reasons why, I haven't done what I said I was going to do, or justification. So it comes with a particular feeling. Do you want to share how it is for you, Philippa?
When I'm defensive?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does actually feel like a wall, and behind that wall I feel very vulnerable. And actually, what you were saying before this video around not being seen in the light that I want to be seen in, I guess, for my intention. So for me, I think what comes up is a feeling of anxiety, like anxious because there's a disconnect happening. And I'm scrambling to try and explain.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? So it's that retreating behind the wall in a way to try and protect myself from not being seen in the way that I'd like to be seen. And for me, it's more of a sense of indignation, or like there's a rising up. I notice the energy kind of comes up in me. It's like, oh yes, but yes, but I did this and I did that. So there's it's more like an attacking way of defense, actually, defending by attacking.
Yeah, right. And mine's more of a like retreating. Sort of scramble. I'm like scrambling to stay in connection, but also retreating. So how? So when, say, if I'm aware that I'm feeling defensive in a conversation, how can I deal with it? So obviously awareness is the first step. How can I hold myself in that moment when I realize I'm feeling defensive in a conversation?
So for me, as soon as I notice that defensiveness come up in me, because it is such an energetic thing, I can immediately just go, it's okay, I don't need to do this. I can actually drop back into much more of an empathic connection, like a felt sense connection with the other person. And I guess for me, it's really about, understanding more about where the other's coming from, perhaps.
So the first step of sort of self-compassion, and what comes to mind is that technique of, just giving yourself a discreet hug. Like I think there's research to show that hand on the side of the ribs, which, I mean, it does look a little bit defensive, I guess, but does help to calm, or a little squeeze, it does help to kind of calm the nervous system.
Rubbing the arms,
and then I guess depending on capacity would be then empathy for the other person. That's I'd really need to sort of have that capacity to switch into empathy.
So it would be that, I mean, obviously depending on the context, but it would be something like, so, this really matters to you that I show up as I said I would, or it's like really just acknowledging the needs that are present in the other. And then maybe if it's a repair process, it could be, really me hearing the impact of my actions on the other, like being accountable for the impact. And being willing to stand in the fire of listening to whatever that impact is.
Yeah. Which is quite a skill, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've had a bit of practice. yeah, and so it's just that willingness and I guess it's also valuing authentic relating, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's not wanting to just fall into this pattern of disconnecting that I learned as a child and by being defensive, you know, like it's saying, well, I've done that pattern. I want to do something different here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yes.
want to come back to connection.
Switching off the superhighway of habit and going down the goat track of the new habits we're trying to form. So then what about when someone is being defensive? So you've delivered a message, or you're trying to make a request, and you're met with excuses and defensiveness, or your experience of defensiveness. What can you do in that, or what can I do in that situation?
Yeah, I guess depending on what I'm hearing, it might be something like, so when I hear you say, you know, X, Y, and Z, I'm guessing that maybe you're wanting to be seen as competent, or, you know, having the skills or whatever it is, and it matters to you that I see you in a particular way. And how is that for you? Can I check in with you about whether that's accurate or something like that?
Yeah, so that's the empathy version. And then you also had an example of the honesty version before around disconnecting. I'd love to hear that too. You know.
So when I hear you say X, Y, and Z, I notice I'm feeling a little disconnected, and I'm sad about that. I'd love to be more connected with you. And I'm wondering if you could share with me, you know, how does it feel for you in this moment, and maybe what's present for you here when you're sharing this with me.
Yeah.
Something.
So in a nutshell, it's about trying to stay in connection, trying to hear each other from that sort of safe, boundaried place, and trying to find the common middle ground.
Yeah.
Middle.
Yeah. Yeah, because I so understand in my own experience that if I'm dropping into defensiveness, that there's a lack of safety within me, you know, and if it's around my identity, then I'm scared that someone's sort of triggering my identity, you know, like I'm not feeling safe in that. So whatever the trigger is, the safety really seems to be the thing that's underneath it all.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah, the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lovely. Thank you.
Complete that here?
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. Thanks, Philippa.
Thank you.
Look forward to the next one.